Good morning. Little late, but I had to finish my yoga, so here I am. If you're hopping in, this is public. Please feel free to invite whoever you want and share it on your pages. That would be awesome. And we're going to talk a little bit about boundaries because that's a really big deal. And I think in our recovery process, it's important that we define them and abide by them for ourselves and for others. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I wrote about it today. Some people prefer that method, and so I'm going to probably start doing both of them, which is kind of good because it gives me little bloggy things and stuff to talk about as well with our Evolve stuff. I'm really trying to turn that into something, that will help other people, because that's the whole point of the Evolve thing is being of service to other people. So over the last, I don't know, maybe week or so, 2 weeks, few months, this issue has come up for me a couple of times, and every time I think I have dealt with it and learned that I need to set the boundaries or I need to abide by the boundaries, I somehow end up being fucked over by my own boundaries or people crossing into them or whatever it is. So they keep coming up. So today I decided I would ask the goddess, what's up with that? And what do I need to learn? And she said, listen, you're still not being true to yourself, and you're still living in fear of losing people or not being accepted by people. You need to feel that pain that's in the pit of your stomach. That right there is when you are letting people step over into your auric sphere or into your boundary or pushing you to do something you don't want to do. That's what that conflict is inside of you, and you need to ditch that to live authentically. And the only way that I can live authentically is by telling people this is not for me. And sometimes people don't get it. Sometimes people just want to continue to shove that shit at you, tell you who you are, tell you what you're going to do, tell you what they want from you or require from you, whatever it is. And I'm a people pleaser by nature, so it's really hard for me to tell folks no and to tell people when they are crossing those boundaries. Historically, for me, what I've seen is that I end up ultimately just doing what they asked me to do and then complaining about it later and then getting really mad at them over something else and causing some ginormous drama thing, and I'm trying to move away from that in my life right now. And so when I think about having to confront people or to enforce a boundary, what ultimately happens is I get scared and it's painful to do. It ultimately always brings up some other shit that I have to deal with because it will end up actually making me realize that other people are affected by the cross of the boundary that someone else just did. Or it includes people in my sphere, my boyfriend, my husband, my kid, whatever, and I have to deal with that, and it's painful and it's awful. And she said to me, well, you need to make that pain your bitch and make that be your reminder of how you really enforce stuff. And I guess maybe this also goes back to how do we communicate with other people. We need to be communicative with other people. I'm really surprised I don't have anybody in here yet. Let me look on my Facebook on my phone and see how that is looking, because I don't understand why there's nobody here. And I sometimes think that has a lot to do with Facebook and not with me. But I'm gonna look. Oh, well, it doesn't look like there's anybody there now either, but okay. So anyway, so why do people insist on crossing our boundaries? I have to I've had people tell me that my boundaries were bullshit. So I always think to myself, well, excuse me, if you cross over this line one more time, I'm going to show you just how meaningful my boundary really is. I think we're born to push boundaries. I think that if you don't believe that we're not born to do that, you should ask a toddler not to touch something and watch as they extend their finger towards the thing that you tell them not to touch and see how close they can get to it while they're making eye contact with you while they're doing it. It's something that's inside of us, I guess, because we need to see where can we go with this person? What can we do? How can we push what we're our agenda with people? I've also I have to get people to understand that I'm serious about my boundary and that I need to express what that boundary really is clearly, and to also let people know what the result of crossing that boundary will be with me. I've had the line crossed a few times. And the one time was with just where I realized a couple of years ago that as open as I feel like I am, hugging is not always my thing. I don't always want people to touch me. And it can be with people that I've known, loved, cherished my entire life. It could be with family, it could be with friends, it could be whatever, but I don't always want someone to touch me. And when I finally figured that out, I started to actually honor that inside of myself and kind of like shoved people back. Well, I've had people look at me in the face and tell me, I don't give a shit if you don't want me to touch you. I'm going to hug you because I'm a hugger. Well, then that's not going to go well for either one of us. So my clearly defined boundary with those kinds of people are going to be, no, offer my hand if I feel like that's something I want to do, because sometimes the touching extends all the way to that. Don't try to do anything, just kind of, you know, hey, how's it going? I'm good with that, but I don't want to exchange that kind of energy with you. To me, energy comes off of our whole person, our hands, bodies, whatever, and I don't want that. And if you keep leaning in for the hug and you think that your hug is more important than my body autonomy, you're going to find yourself shoved right out of my auric field, and I have no problem with that. Let me see. Sometimes boundaries aren't physical. I've had to tell people, have had people tell me what I was going to do. So for instance, one time there was somebody that was putting together a festival and they wanted me to teach a class and present a class at a festival. I didn't want to do it. And I didn't get a choice. I was told, this is what you're going to do. This is when it is. And I expect you to be there. And I was sat back for such a long time complaining to everybody except the person that threw that at me that I didn't want to be there. Sat in the parking lot the day of the event, calling my friend up, complaining that I didn't want to be there, and went and presented the stupid workshop. That's never going to happen again to me. When I don't feel comfortable about doing something, I'm just not going to do it, and I'm going to give people a firm no. I don't even have to give people a reason why. Neither do you. We just can say no. No, I can't do this. For whatever reason it is, and whatever, you don't have to explain it to anybody. And I've also had people say, when I've told them that this is a boundary for me, or I'm not interested in this particular thing, that was where I was right now. You'll change your mind. Well, bitch, this is how I feel today, and today's the only day I have. So I don't want to do the thing. Please stop asking me to do the thing. That has come up so many times over and over again in my life. I keep asking the gods, what is that? So it's really super important to know where our boundaries are. We need to be an expert surveyor of what's acceptable and what's not. And then the moment someone steps in and crosses over that threshold, we need to tell them no or to stop it. Because if we don't, we'll just keep encountering people who think they can say and do anything to us. And then our stomach will hurt. And it will bring up other people and issues, like I said before, with my family, my boyfriend, whatever. The pushing of boundaries makes us take stock of everything and everyone in our lives. Who's being respectful and who needs to be in the cornfield. It also makes us wonder, who am I doing those same things to, and maybe that's a lesson. So in this Kundalini practice that I'm doing, and in the prayer and meditation that I'm doing, when you have an issue with someone that's like this thing is a great example of it. You need to really kind of look at yourself and go, where am I doing that to somebody? I must be crossing a boundary with somebody. And so I know this now. I know I'm crossing boundaries someplace, and I need to be really aware of when that's happening. I have recently started asking people, is it okay if I hug you? I'd like to give you a hug. Is it okay before I lean in for the hug? So that's one way that I can do it. But I don't know, am I telling people you're going to be somewhere? You're going to go somewhere? Come out of your comfort zone, because you will be out of it eventually anyway. Am I doing those things to people? Because I don't want to be that person. Hey, Carol, I want to make sure that I'm respectful of everybody's autonomy, physically, mentally, spiritually. All of those things are important, and that's what Evolve is about, is to evolve all of those things about ourselves. So if I'm doing that to you, you need to private message me and tell me, because I want to change that. And I'd like to see the examples anyway, because sometimes when we are doing things like that, we don't even realize that we're doing them. We're not trying to hurt people. We're not trying to push boundaries. We're not trying to cause people any kind of pain or anguish, but we're doing it. So it's not a conscious thing. It's not even something we're trying to hurt anybody over, but we need to tell people, and we need to respect people when they say that that's a boundary that we're crossing for them. Because just like racism and sexism, a human can tell you what's not right for them, and we need to honor that. Just like if a woman tells you you're behaving sexist and you're a man, you need to take that at her word, because she's a woman and she knows. I know when someone's crossing my boundaries. You know when someone's crossing yours. You need to articulate that so that everybody understands, because that will save us. I mean, that steals our peace and our joy. And that's been the theme for my week so far. It's only Tuesday, but that's been the theme for my week, is I don't want anybody to steal my peace or my joy. I certainly don't want to hand it to somebody. And if it's something that I can do to stop that from happening, and it's as simple as saying, no, please don't do that. No, please don't ask me that anymore. No, please don't tell me what I'm doing, then that seems like an easy fix to keeping your peace and your joy and your autonomy, doesn't it? So anyway, I think that's it. I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys today. I've already prayed, I've already meditated, I've already done 2 forms of yoga, and I've already done my exercising. I got a little bit of housekeeping to do, planning some meals for the week, going to the grocery store, making sure I feed myself again. So if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. Tomorrow we'll do some other topic. I don't know what that will be at this point. Usually it's whatever the Spirit moves me to do. I have to remember then when I do my meditations to take my notebook in my room with me, because I think that I come up with ideas and then I forget them as soon as I come out of the meditation. Pardon me. And then tomorrow's also Wednesday, so I'll be doing tarot readings again for myself. And then we'll do tarot readings again on Friday. We'll do 3-card draws for anybody who wants one, but I think you should schedule your tarot reading because you really deserve it. So other than that, unless you guys have any questions, I'm out, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for jumping in. Again, remember to share the video and to invite your friends next time you jump in. Peace. Love you.